Hello mystery enthusiast, I'm Candra and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new movie Family Practice Mysteries Coming Home. So I know it's been a minute. This actually came out in May, but my May was a lot. So I am literally just catching up on May's movie plus June's movies. So you're gonna get 2 videos, hopefully back to back, this month. So let's get into it. So before we get into all of the things and talking about the themes and my opinion about the movie, let's read the synopsis. So, a former Army surgeon, Rachel Hunt, moves back to her hometown and joins a practice of family doctors, but when she's drawn into solving the mysterious death of a patient named Ross Alexander, her quiet life becomes upended. So let's get into the formula. Hallmark Mysteries has a it's not new. It's the same formula over and over again. We have predictable plots where there's a mystery. 9 times out of 10, a murder. A mystery that it involves a murder. A quirky detective or amateur sleuth decides that they are determined that they will figure out what that mystery is and solve it. And then the plot includes a subplot between 2 characters where there's some romance bubbling through, and then the mystery is tied up into a pretty little bow. And so does Family Practice Mysteries fall into this formula? Absolutely. Absolutely. This time the cozy mystery is involved with a doctor, specifically an Army surgeon, which brings a different element to the mysteries that they usually do. So I was actually pretty excited about it because, again, any time that there's somebody that is somewhat involved in the criminal justice system, though an Army doctor really isn't that, I was actually really excited to watch this movie. Another piece of the formula for Hallmark Mysteries is the focus on the characters, like that true character development. This mystery was actually it was slower paced for me in a way that I didn't like. Most of the other mysteries have moved quicker through the plot, but this one was a little slow, but they gave enough time to kind of do some character development, which was fine. So I understood the necessity of the slower pace. Did I love it? No, but it is what it is. And then, of course, the happy ending. Kids get a puppy, the murder is solved, and there is a new love interest budding between Jack and Rachel. Jack is the detective. So let's get into the themes and messages of this movie. So for me, I saw 2 themes or messages, however you want to describe those 2, for this movie, which was trusting your instincts and what you do for family. So let's start with trusting instincts. So we see that Rachel Hunt, who is the doctor of the deceased Ross Alexander, who literally, we start off this movie with her having a doctor's appointment with Ross, and we find out that Ross is basically in perfect health. If he wasn't a 61-year-old, he could probably pass for a 20-year-old based on how his internal organs are working. So he is in tip-top shape. She deems him as super healthy, but he's concerned about his dad died at 61 due to an untimely death, and so he wants to take an extra test. And so outside of that, though, he's in perfect health, but all of a sudden homeboy dies. And so Rachel, because she deems him in excellent health, she is very concerned that his death was not natural. And so throughout most of the first half, all the first half is her really trusting her instincts and going up to everyone and telling them and ringing the alarm that, hey, something's not right here. She tells the family, she tells Detective Jack, she tells the medical examiner, she tells her dad, she tells everyone that she can that this man was in perfect health, or excuse me, in excellent health, and this death don't feel right, until somebody finally believes her. She had to pull out all of these extra, she had to start her own investigation because she knew something wasn't right. So she goes to Avery, who is at the newspaper that Ross owns, and like tries to get some information from him just to get, you know, people moving to figure out what caused this man's death. And so I love that piece of it, because a lot of times we don't trust our instincts, but like our instincts are there for a reason. And so the fact that she trusted her gut and kept pushing and pushing and pushing and ringing the alarm for other people to get on board to what she thought was wrong was what caused would cause an official investigation really to be opened. And so I love that Rachel was a prime example of trusting your gut. The second theme that I want to talk about is what you do for family. So I will admit that when Rachel alerted the family that something's wrong the first time and they did not seem fazed by it, I was like, oh, they did it. So basically I didn't know the how yet, but I knew after that conversation that they had something to do with it. But that's not the point. The point is what we do for family. And so we find out that Meredith did a risky investment with cryptocurrency and lost basically all of their money. And so in order to get her money, and she went to Ross, who has a lot of money, for a loan, he basically turned her down. And so Meredith then concocts a plan to kill Ross so that the money, because he doesn't have a will, he doesn't have kids, and so that money is going to be coming to her and her husband, Leonard. Meredith and Leonard are married. Leonard is Ross's brother. And so she reaches out to her brother, Phil. Meredith reaches out to her brother, Phil, who is has been in legal trouble before. And so I think that dynamic there just shows what you would do for family. So it didn't matter. I don't know what happened, what didn't happen, what that conversation looked like, because that was all done off screen. But Phil decided to help his sister Meredith to literally kill somebody, not just one person, but two people, because she was in trouble. And so that to me just shows like how strong a family bond can be. But then on the flip side, we think about how Ross and Meredith are technically related, now not by blood, but by marriage. And the question that came to me was, if Leonard had known that Meredith lost all their money, and Leonard was the person that went to Ross and asked for money or for the loan, would he have said yes? That was the thing that really jumped to me, because Ross turned Meredith down because his business advisor or manager told him no. But like, if they were related by blood, who's to say that he would have listened to his business manager? The second relationship that we see the question of family is with Chloe and Matthew. Chloe and Matthew are Rachel's twins, twin children. And so we see that Matthew is not, he is not a part of the in crowd, but Chloe is. And so she gets invited to be a cheerleader and, you know, do this car washing thing and being like in the popular crowd. But she realizes that the popular crowd are making fun of her brother, and that's not right. And so she chose to, even though she made the cheer squad and she was going to be on this path to be in part of the in crowd, she chose to give that all up because Matthew is her brother, and like, it doesn't matter what he is, he's my brother and I'm gonna do for him. So my opinion about this movie, I kind of touched on it earlier, is it moved, like the first half moved so slow. Like it was so slow paced. I was just like, what is happening? And I get it, because there was technically no investigation, because nobody believed Rachel that there was something wrong with Ross. And so until the coroner did that final test and figured out that he was actually murdered is when the movie started moving a lot quicker than it was. And so it was just, up until that point, I was just like, okay, what's going on here? I would have preferred it to be both fast-paced and a movie that had a lot of different red herrings, but this was not that. I think that made it less engaging for me. But another thing that really like kind of threw me, and which would made it really easy to solve this murder, is because if my brother had died and my doctor, not my doctor, but his doctor is telling me and the family, our family, that like he was in excellent health, I'm gonna want an autopsy. And so that was weird to me that they chose not to do the autopsy. Like, I understand why Meredith and Phil didn't want to, but Leonard, that's your brother. You don't want to know how your brother died when his doctor is literally telling you he was in excellent health. Those were the exact words she used. Some ain't cleaning the milk. I knew then, and then like completely unraveled the mystery. Probably like 1 or 2 commercial breaks after that. I will say that I did enjoy the chemistry between Rachel and Jack. It was basically immediate, so I would love to see that play out a little more. Hopefully we get another movie. I don't know, Hallmark mysteries have been like doing one and dones, and I'm just like, what's going on here? Also, I'm a little annoyed. I know this is a little off tangent, and I'm gonna get back to my structure in a minute, but why is it that Hallmark gets 4 new movies every month, but Hallmark Mystery only gets 1? Sometimes 2. If it's a good month, sometimes it's 2, but mostly it's 1. Anyways. So, on a mystery scale of 1 to 5 stars, I would give this movie a 2.5. A 2.5 because, again, it was really slow for me, and the mystery was really like too easy to solve, so it wasn't as engaging for me as some of the other new mysteries that they've been releasing. But I'm still intrigued. Like, I don't want to, even though I gave it a 2.5 stars, I would still watch another movie of this. Like, Rachel is very easy to root for. I love that she follows her instincts when it comes to, you know, what she believes is right. And so, like, that for me had me rooting for her. And she didn't back down no matter how many no's she got. So I love that for her. I would watch another one of these movies. I'm hoping that it becomes a little more fast-paced and there's a little more twists and turns in the next movie that requires me to stay engaged and to figure out who killed who. So, should you watch Family Practice Mysteries Coming Home? I would say if you're looking for something easy to watch that you can throw on in the background while you're doing something else, I think this is the perfect movie for that. Like, you don't really need to follow along to, I mean, you could say that for a lot of Hallmark mystery movies, but this one in particular, you really don't need to follow along to figure it out. But if you don't want to, like, based on this review, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to, like, if you're looking for an engaging mystery. Like, so it's like I'm in between here. So, like, this is a good show to watch if you just need something to throw on in the background, but also you don't necessarily need to watch it. So I guess that was not helpful at all, but I mean, it's in the middle for me. Like, it was just okay. So thank you so much for joining me for this Hallmark Mysteries review. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment about what your thoughts are about this movie. I'm interested to read them all. And join me next time for my next movie review. Take care. Like, I would prefer it both to, I would perhaps, why don't I ever have, like, I do this